This 2025 quarterback class is a tough one to rank because it's not last year's class, and we want it to be in so many ways. We want the receivers to be as good as the receivers last year. They're not. The running backs this year, next year, we're going to want to be as good as this year. They're not going to be. And we got to come to terms with that. And as we do that, we still got to rank these guys. We still got to say, how good could Cam Ward be? Who's going to be better, Cam Ward or Shador? Or is this man right here, Jaylen Milroe? And some might say Dart. Where's Dart, Smitty? I'll get to Dart at the end. But I'm going to tell you right now, Dart's not on this top 3 quarterback list. I like Dart, but I don't love Dart. Milroe could end up being the best quarterback of all 3 of them. I truly believe that. You might hear me come to bat for Sanders quite a bit because people want him to fail, and I'm there to help support him if he goes to the right spot. New York at 3. Well, New York, take him. In a little bit less than, well, actually exactly 1 week from today, we'll have the NFL draft, and we'll know the landing spots. But right now, I love this kid, Shador. He's very underrated. I love Milroe. And Cam Ward, I like a lot. I like a lot, but he's going to Tennessee. I'm not going to hold out much hope as a rookie, even though I like him a lot. I think he could turn that franchise around, but it might take some time, growing pains. I want nothing to do with that for the next year or so. These 2 guys have a lot of potential. Let's break down my evaluation of these 3 QBs. Dart would be number 4. Begins right now. Let's start off with Ward and get it out of the way. He's the number 1 quarterback for everybody. I just don't, from a fantasy perspective, we're talking NFL, okay. You know, Tennessee should be taking him. He's really well versed in every single part of his game. He transferred around and continued to have success. Everybody knows the story of Cam Ward. He's been resilient. 43-13, 39 TDs, only 7 INTs. 7 INTs the year before. Very consistent, very careful with the ball. 25 passing TDs the year prior. 3-7, 3-5. Again, transferred around from team to team and showed that he could get better every time he moved. And that's probably the most impressive thing. He's resilient. He's able to get better and improve. And that's a good indication that he'll get better at the next level. The problem is he's going to Tennessee. The problem is there's not a lot of support there, and it could be a year or 2 before he gets the help he needs to become a really, really polished player. So I'm just kind of not interested in Cam Ward. Again, I love his stats, 43-13, 39 TDs, but how will that translate in Tennessee? I'm hopeful. I'm just not holding my breath. These guys, they need landing spots to outmaneuver Cam Ward fantasy-wise. I'm not lying to myself by saying no matter what, Shador is going to be amazing. If Shador goes to New York and he still has a shot to, even though people are trying to say that he's not going to New York now, Joe Shine made a comment about, we call him Joe Shinebox. Joe Shinebox made a comment about, they're good with Winston and Russell Wilson, but is it smoke season? Is it smoke and mirrors? Is he that dumb to give away his plan of attack and that he's not going quarterback? I don't know. If Sanders doesn't go 3, I'll be very disappointed in the potential that was Shador to Neighbors, but I'm still not down on Neighbors at all because he was wide receiver 6 with a garbage carousel of quarterback play, and he's going to be handed Russell Wilson and Winston, which is light years ahead. I hope Winston gets in there. Now, Shador falls from this 3 spot. He's probably free falling all the way down to the New Orleans Saints, which is a pretty good landing spot. It is. And if he was to go past that, the Colts would probably take a look, and then the Steelers would snag him if he fell to 21. And I don't think he will, but he could. We've seen people free fall before. And for some reason, people want this kid to fail. And I totally disagree with everybody. I think he's a very solid player with tons of upside. And should he land in New York, I like him better than Cam Ward for the next couple of years. Maybe Cam Ward could catch up. I'm not saying he can't, but this guy who has a 41-34 yardage total from last year, 37 TDs, 10 INTs, also very careful with the ball. 40 touchdowns in 2022, 30 touchdowns in 2021, 37 in 2024. His career stats are unbelievable, and his ability is untapped. I know that offense was weird in Colorado, and I know a lot of it was just get the damn ball to Travis Hunter, but we give Travis Hunter a lot of credit for making Shador look good. And I've even joked around about this. You pull up Shador Sanders highlights, you're watching Travis Hunter highlights, and you're like, what video am I watching? Did I pull up the wrong video? And that's true. But you also have to give credit to the man feeding Travis Hunter the ball. And knowing that I know my guy can catch this, I'm going to throw it there. I think he's smarter than people think. I think he's can absorb more than people think. I think he's a better character person than people give him credit for. And people are rooting for him, cheering for him to fail. I hope that the landing spot is kind to him. I hope the landing spot gives him a chance to prove everybody wrong. Cleveland would be good. The Giants would be ideal. The Saints will be good. The Colts would be very interesting and intriguing with all the weapons he'd have, even though he'd need some wide receiver help eventually. Pittsburgh would be unbelievable. That would be a great spot for a guy like Sanders. But here's the thing. I've been talking up Sanders a lot, and I'll continue to support this man. And I hope he does land in a place to prove people wrong, because I think he'll deliver. I think he's a good stand-up kid. This arrogant talk is ridiculous. Just absolutely flat out ridiculous. He's confident. That's it. He's a good kid with a good head on his shoulders, good pedigree, and because people hate his dad, they want to tear him down. But here's where this takes a little bit of a turn, not because of a negative on Sanders or a negative on Ward. Again, these two guys will do well, especially if they're given weapons. But the wild card here is Jaylen Milroe, and this guy deserves to be a first-round pick. And you could laugh at that all you want. You can say, Smitty, that's ridiculous. I haven't heard that, whatever. I don't care. My evaluation is he's a first-round pick. My evaluation is that the Pittsburgh Steelers would be nuts to pass on him at 21. Now, maybe if Sanders and Milroe were there, they do get the balls to go Milroe. I'd be ecstatic if that happened. I think that they'll probably take Sanders if Sanders is there. But Milroe, to me, then falls into a really cool territory next round, or the Rams take him. The Rams are year to year with Stafford. They redid Stafford's contract, but it's still a 1-year deal in a sense. Sean Payton's already said it's a multi-year deal, but don't get confused. It's set up to be readdressed every year. They're looking to move on. Now they could go Jackson Dart. They could go Shuck. They could go Milroe. Now, Seattle could go Milroe. There's a lot of other places that could, toy around with this idea. But if let's say 21 is Sanders, or Sanders goes earlier, wherever, and Pittsburgh passes on Milroe could go to the Browns. He could go to the Giants. He could go to the Raiders. He could go to the Saints later. It would get really interesting if Milroe free falls in the NFL draft, because I think he's got the ability to be better than both these guys if he's supported properly. And that's not a negative on Sanders, because I've already said how much I like Sanders a lot. Sanders in New York and Milroe in an ideal situation, they could still be equals, or Milroe could still be better. I'm not saying this class is going to produce an elite top 5 quarterback, but I think there is at least one quarterback that can live and dance, maybe from time to time, maybe 2 out of 3 years, every 3-year window, could dance in the top 10. And I think from a fantasy perspective, especially, and that's kind of why we're here, Milroe's the guy that could get that done. Now, you look at his stats and you say, okay, Smitty, 28, 44, 16 TDs, 11 INTs. What are we looking at? It's the rushing, and it's not that his rushing is the only good thing he does. Look at his rushing stats. You've got a unbelievable 20 touchdowns ran in and punched into the end zone in 2024 at Alabama. 20 rushing touchdowns, 12 the year prior, 726 on the ground, 531. And this is like the crazy part about when you watch his film is he's not just scrambling all over the field and not finding ways to throw the ball. They do a lot of design runs with him. This is a guy that is a very good passer. He tries to throw the football any chance he gets. He's so fast, so athletic. One of the better running quarterbacks we've seen come out of college in quite some time. And the natural inclination people will have is to say, this is AR5. Oh my God, he can run so well. He's got to be a bad quarterback. He's not a bad quarterback. He still needs to develop a lot. But you got to remember, this guy faced tremendous competition. He was running literally circles, punching 20 touchdowns in 700 plus yards around some of the best defensive players in football. These SEC players coming out, he ran circles, ran through them, bulldozed through them. This is one player we can't say the old, well, what do you do against good schools? No, Milroe's pretty damn proven. And when someone says, well, his passing stats are a lot to be desired, the 28, 44, and 16 touchdowns, when you're running in 20 touchdowns and 726 yards, you don't need to throw the ball as much. You've scored already. The defense is now on the field. People are wild with the natural tie they have to make between Milroe and AR5. It's not there. Stop wasting your time. That's a lazy analysis to try and pin AR5 and his failures on Milroe just because they both run the damn ball so well. You make up your own decision because landing spot's going to determine a lot. I wish I could come in here and tell you Milroe is going to be the best quarterback in this draft class. Sanders is going to be the best quarterback in this draft class. But the truth of the matter is, it is such a in the middle of the road type of QB class that the landing spot, unfortunately, is going to determine a lot. And unfortunately for Ward, he's going to be in a little bit of a underwhelming situation. So there is a chance that Sanders and Milroe and even Dart could outperform in year 1 and 2, and then we'll see what's what the next couple of years. But we got to look now. We got to look into the next year. And right now, I'm not feeling like Ward is going to blow, the top off this thing. As for Dart, a lot of you are going to get mad and say, we got an objection, Dart. Dart's okay. I like him. And just like Tom Brady wasn't a great prospect, just like Bucky Irving wasn't an amazing prospect, Dart still has a shot to get in the NFL and impress and mature and grow. Not everybody is a great prospect, and you got to go off that. And right now, Dart doesn't look to me like he's going to translate as quickly or as well as these guys. And that's just my opinion. Doesn't mean I won't get back on a Dart train as it zips by if he starts picking things up quickly. But right now, as a prospect, he does not deserve to be ranked over these three guys. And anybody thinking that Dart's better than this kid, coming out as a prospect, not what he could do, things we don't know about, how he blossoms. Again, Bucky Irving is the best example because he did not show signs right away that he would be as good as he was. But when he got in the NFL, he blossomed like crazy. And that happens. You got to understand that. No one was twiddling their thumbs and missed Tom Brady's workouts. Or the 27, 2,600, 2,800 yards that he threw for as a high in college. Tom Brady had like 2 seasons, if I remember correctly, around 2,800 yards, 2,600 yards. He didn't do anything in college. This happens. So you can't draw too many conclusions with quarterbacks that are all kind of equal in a way heading in. And temporary expectations, this is not last year's draft class. There's no JD5. There's no even Bo Nix right here. Bo Nix is better than all 3 of these guys. But there's some upside, and one of them could be top 10, 12-ish in fantasy. No doubt about it. They could even be like 8 to 12 or 7 to 12 sometimes. Milroe, Sanders, Ward, one of these guys could blossom a lot more than our ability to prospect them right now. Go get after it. Don't forget, I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Additionally, live whenever big news breaks. And I'm live a lot of midnights Eastern, which is our graveyard shift, our after dark shows. See you all later. Oh, and also I'll be live during the entire first round of the NFL draft and dropping videos all weekend long.